Greetings, visionaries. This is your host, the INFJ Visionary. The topic of today's broadcast, I guess, will be the shadow, integration, maybe. I should start by saying that I'm not necessarily a subscriber, an active subscriber to Jung's concept of integration. In fact, at its core, it's a non-dualist sort of idea and philosophy that there is not an intrinsic difference between the light and the dark, the good and the bad. You know, that it might be true. I don't know. I don't know for sure, but I don't think that is exactly right. I do think that however hard we may try or may be motivated to eliminate the dark part of ourselves, that it will always manifest, and it does seem to manifest increasingly when you work extra hard to repress it. So I do think there is something to the idea of integration, but I guess where I'm coming from is that as far as that's a spiritual path, and as far as spiritual paths go, you need to be sort of careful. I believe you do, and I've gone down a lot of different paths. I've been involved with everything from the Buddhism, Advaita. I looked into the Course in Miracles. I've read the Seth books, by Jane Roberts and stuff, and all of them have some valuable ideas, and most of them also have areas that are dark, questions they don't answer, and they are based on, in most cases, the character of the people that communicated them. Even any channeled material that you ever come across, it's good to keep this in mind. Yeah. So let's talk about the shadow. Now, I just listened to a very interesting broadcast, and I'm sorry, I don't know the name of the channel, and I don't remember the name of the broadcast, but that's all right. We're just going to paraphrase this person's ideas. And that was that, he was talking about INFJs and INTJs, and I did find it valuable to learn a little bit about INTJs. But we are wired very, very differently, and for that reason, I don't claim to know much about INTJs, except to be careful of them. They're extremely attractive and interesting people, but I have found that I've gotten on the wrong side of them more than once, so I'm always very cautious now, because though they may be ruled by the same primary function that we are, the introverted intuition, their wiring after that's very different. You've got the extroverted thinking after that, then that introverted feeling, and I forget what their fourth function is, but be introverted sensing or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, they're great. Obviously, amazing people, and we have a lot in common with our mutual use and enjoyment of the introverted intuitive function. That gives us really more in common than not. But getting back to this guy was talking about the shadow thing, so I won't be talking much about what he was saying about INTJs. But with the INFJ, what he was saying is like, for us, it's when we decide to give up on people because we've been hurt or disappointed. And the problem with this, I totally get where he was coming from. And we can find people incredibly frustrating. There's several reasons for this. One of the biggest reasons is because we see them so clearly. We know why they're messed up generally, and that's one of the reasons that we tend to be so forgiving. Between our intuitive insights and our extroverted antenna, we're able to pick up quite a lot about people. So we cut them a lot of slack, but we do have our own sort of psychic needs, and quite often we find that they're not being met, and this can give us could give us a bitter outlook, and that bitter outlook is the beginning of the end. So if you find you're disappointed in people, I would say that that's very easy. It's not hard at all to be disappointed in people. It takes more effort to just forgive them for being, less effort. Maybe it's more. Either way, it's the right thing to do. You've got to just have some grace in your interactions, and try and carve out a chunk for yourself. And the best way I think to do this is don't be don't be too giving just because you can use that as a strategy to bond with people. Well, a lot of times what that creates is a sort of a loop that becomes negative for you because they're getting all their needs fulfilled, and from their standpoint, they're not reading the situation necessarily like you are. Um, if you are, they just think, oh, this person's really into me. They just love me, and they're happy with anything I do for them. But the fact of the matter is, we may be looking for some reciprocal attention, especially to. I think a lot of INFJs, we really would like to be able to express how we feel, and I don't think we necessarily have that great a capacity to understand how we feel unless we actually are in a conversation with somebody and expressing it. And I don't know too much about the mechanics of that. That's just an observation I'm tossing out there. Um, I do think it's quite true that we're not that into how we feel necessarily. And not that we want to lose ourselves in other people either. It's just that, um, well, we do know how we feel, but we don't necessarily know how to handle all the different levers. And this is why I think we're very grateful for people that see us and that give us appropriate attention. And these are the people that'll keep us from becoming extra alienated and turning our backs on other people. And getting back to what this guy was saying in his video, he's like, well, when you do that, when you say, oh, I'm just going to be cold as ice, pardon me, I'm just gonna turn off this extroverted feeling component. I don't need this. And then you'll just be leaning into the introverted thinking, right? And the introverted intuition. And what does that sound like? That sounds a lot like the NITI loop, right? Um, you don't really have a choice, unfortunately, INFJ, if you're going to be integrated with the world. If you're going to experience any kind of integration, it predominantly is going to have to come through your extroverted feeling function. And we've had a theme on several different broadcasts recently. Well, not so much recently, maybe even not that recently. It's been quite a few we're into now. We're coming up on our 40th broadcast. Um, the extroverted feeling doesn't mean you need to be that crying towel for other people. It doesn't mean you need to manipulate situations around yourself to try and get some companionship or socialization in your life. You can express that extroverted feeling component by just funneling and channeling energy into it and wanting to broadcast it out. And that's one of the functions of this channel for me. Don't I have friends, but I don't have as many close friends as I might have had when I was younger. And it seems like a lot of younger people aren't even getting a chance to make those friendships. But you can put that energy, the impetus of the introverted intuition can be broadcast through your extroverted feeling out into the world. You can do it with your art, your writing. You can just do it with your casual small talk conversations as well. Don't minimize that. And until I come back with another video, you keep on keeping on, INFJ.